Howdy, Free Desert Boy here. Hey, I just wanted to, I was shooting the Walther PPKS, and so forth. I said, I got another Walther. So I decided to have a 22-day on the range. And my other Walther is a Walther WMP, which is Walther Magnum Pistol. And it's in 22 WMR, or Winchester Magnum Rimfire, I believe that stands for. So it's a more powerful cartridge than a 22 LR. It also has much more, it's much louder, and it has a little flame sometimes. So in some ways, maybe if you're training somebody and for them to get used to more louder report from the gun, and so forth, it might be a way to do it. It handles the recoil well. Let's take a look at it close up. It's got nice grip texture here, and on the rear, and on the front. It's got some nice slide serrations here, and we'll look at it this way. I think you can see it's pretty nice looking. Let's check it safe. There's no magazine in here. We can see there's no rounds in here, and we have a magazine. This is the magazine. The magazine holds, I don't know whether you can see it that well. It says on there's extras on here, but it's 15 rounds. It's one of these that you have this little guy to pull down, right? This is a hammer fired gun. So when I rack the slide, checking it empty, it half cocked the hammer. It looks like it's a striker fired gun. And it does have 3 safeties in it, from what I understand. This trigger one here, it's inside the trigger. There's another block in here, and there's a drop safety, is my understanding. Also, it has this red fiber front sight with kind of these blackout serrated rear sights that, you could actually probably rack it on a table ledge if you needed to. It also has... We'll just go ahead here. We've checked the safe and we're in a safe direction. We'll go ahead and see the take up on, not much on there. All of a sudden it releases. Then what would happen, it was a cycle and it would put it in that half cock again. So it's got 4, it's like quad, it's got 4 magazine releases. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here that I use. It's on the trigger guard right there. And there's another one on the other triggers on the other side. So it makes it a pretty ambi pistol. So maybe for training, that might really be helpful, especially if you're trying to train somebody to use, full-size Walther pistols that are generally more this shape, So, and then also getting the louder report and a little bit more flame sometimes with the Magnums, might get them ready for, other guns. It also is optics ready and comes with 2 plates, and it talks about which optics you can use with it and how to attach that. So that's kind of nice. The gun is polymer, right, with aluminum slide. My understanding is the actual chamber area where the breech part is a stainless steel, because Winchester Magnum Rimfire is pretty high pressure. I think it's like up in the 20,000s, but you'd have to check on it. Like I always say, I'm just a hobbyist and enthusiast. You need to do your own research, see what works for you, talk to your own experts, make sure you're in compliance with all your local, state, and federal, firearms laws, carry permits, training, hunting, whatever you need to do. So what are the tech specs on this? Well, it is almost 28 ounces. It's 27.8 ounces, so it's a little on the heavy side. It's also very long. It's 8.2 inches long, right? It's 5.66 inches high. The barrel length is 4.5 inches. 4.5 inches here. So, that part of it. It's got a 15-round magazine. In some states, they, of course, you need to check where you live at. You may only be allowed 10-round magazines. You get 2 mags with it, along with those optics plates. And the trigger pull, Walther says the trigger pull is about 4.5 pounds, and their MSRP is around $549. But just for general informational purposes, for whatever, if if you were looking for something like this. But it's probably be a good training tool since it's EMB and all that kind of stuff. And it's got a little bit, kind of gets people ready for louder firearms, the louder sound that you get with, anything from a 38 9mm, going up to, however large you want to go, 44 mag. But anyway, it's kind of cool that, it's slide release. I mean, it really drops them. So that part's pretty cool. Of course, you can lock it back. It does have a slide lock, right? Locks back. So really nice gun. I haven't had any issues with it. Walther does have a list of recommended and not recommended ammo, so you need to look at that. Generally, it needs to be, they recommend ones that have, I think, they don't like them to be below a certain size because it has to do with the amount of recoil that's needed to cycle the gun, is my understanding. And I saw some articles where some of the handgun ammunition you use, including like Hornady 45 grain FTX critical defense, they're getting well over 1,200 feet per second out of this gun. And some of them you see, and they say 1,800 feet per second. Remember, that's probably for a rifle, but a lot of those rounds, from what I've seen in the testing, they're getting 1,200 or 1,300 feet per second out of this gun. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I have a range video that will go with this. I'll show a couple range shots as part of this video, but the range and report will be separate. And I just really, for me, some people call this a woods gun. For Montana, it's probably not a woods gun because you got, everything from black bear to brown bears to moose and all that. But, most places it probably work. Certain areas where you don't have those critters, you probably, you'd have to evaluate it for yourself. But 15 rounds of 22 Magnum, that's nothing to feel like it's, not effective. It's a pretty powerful round in its own right. When you use, some people might use it for varmints, coyotes, something like that, So for that kind of thing, it's probably pretty handy. So anyway, as Desert Boy always says, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye now. Take another look at that. Look at that guy up close. There you go. There we go. Nice looking firearm. Oh, and it's got an accessory rail too. I didn't mention that. Good thing to have. Thanks. Bye now. Just one other thing real quick with this Walther WMP. I won't say it's the easiest firearm in the world to find a holster for, but, it does have a pretty high bore access. And again, thinking about that because I have SIGs, and SIGs kind of generally have that. So I found a holster that would fit it. You'll have to do your own checking, but, I found for me it worked in one of my holsters I already had. So just something to think about. So as Desert Boy always says, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. Bye now. Get back.